Okay, last thing. We've been talking about saving and buying, and now we're going to talk about credit cards. How do credit cards work? Okay, so um, they're open-ended installment loans. So they do go against your credit. If you have a bunch of credit cards open, they're open-ended. And if you go to like a furniture store and get financed, that's also an open-ended that shows up the same way on your credit score. So if you have 5 credit cards and you have a max of 10 grand on each of those cards, it can really pull your credit score down because you could really ring up the money if you wanted. I guess it depends on you how much money you make, whether that really hurts your credit. Um, if you don't make a lot of money, it will really hurt your credit, but I don't know that they would have given you the credit cards. So, what is a good thing about credit cards is if you get one if you're young and you're listening to me right now, if you get one and charge like, I don't know, 40 bucks, pay it off every month. Charge a little, pay it off, charge a little, pay it off. The benefit is it will build credit for you. So if you don't have any credit, still living with your parents, you don't have a car loan, you don't have any loans, credit cards could help you build that. That is absolutely the only positive that I could think of about a credit card. Okay, so it's open ended. You guys can read all this. I don't need to read this to you. And then we have something called average daily balance. How do they decide how much interest you're paying? They do an average daily balance. So it is the sum of all the unpaid balances for every single day divided by the number of days. So you take the balance on every day and you add them all up and you divide by how many days. It's a little bit tricky, but that's what we're going to do. Please note right now, 2022 fall, you could be watching this video a different time, but credit card interest rates are around 20%. They're really high. If you have good credit, maybe 15%. All right, so not good, not good. Let's look at this balance. Let's say this was us. We have a previous balance of $1,350. Okay, that's at the start, right? So that's our billing. So we're looking at May, and these are the only transactions we've done in May. So pretty minimal. So from the 1st of the month to the 8th of the month, we kind of just stay with that same balance of $1,350. So if I looked at a calendar for May, you could think of May 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, right? But that 8th doesn't count because we made a payment on that day. So up until the 8th is 7 days. We stay at 1,350. So I could write down 7 of those, right? I could write down 30 full, all 31 or 30 days, depending on the month, or 28, and write down every single day and the balance. But what's kind of cool is we could do this by days just to help ourselves. So I know for 7 days, I'm going to be at 1,350. And we can times those together, right? Because we had 7 days of that amount, which I got $9,450. So I had 7 days at that initial amount. Double check my math here. Okay, then on the 8th, we made a payment. So now we have to kind of change our balance. So we had 1,350. What happens to that 1,350 when we make a balance, right? So I'm going to write 1,350 here. And when we make that payment, it goes down, hopefully is what you were thinking. So I'm going to subtract 250 and I'm going to get $1,100. This is the balance just for me writing it down. So now I'm at $1,100 even. How many days am I going to stay at 1,100? Well, the 8th, the 9th, but then on the 10th, I went ahead and charged away some more stuff. So we can't, the 10th goes to the next category. So only 2 days did I stay at $1,100. So those 2 days would add up to $2,200. Okay, now on the 10th, I made a purchase for some tickets. I'm going to go on vacation. So now I have to add the $375. So that's $1,475 is my new balance. Now the 10th to the 20th, but we can't count the 20th. That's how many days? The 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th, the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. That's 10 days, not counting the 20th. So for 10 days, I'm going to stay at $1,475. Times those together. Okay. And now on the 20th, we charge some books. So we do have to add that over here to our amount we were looking at. And I get $1,532.50. So now I have a balance of 1,500. How many days did I stay at this balance? Well, we started it on the 20th, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So I got 8 days because the 28th I make another purchase. So 8 days I'm staying at the balance of 1,532.50. Okay, times that, and I get 12,260. Okay, last one. I made another charge. Well, we have 2 more actually. No, we don't. Last one. Charge of $65.30. So now I have to go up again, $1,597.80. Man, I'm really racking it up. So I made this charge on the 28th. So the 28th, 29, 30, 31. So for 4 days, then we hit the end of the month. Okay, and we times those, and I get $6,391.20. Now, I did 7 days all in one, then 2, then 10, then 8, then 4. Add those up, we better get 31. So I'm going to go 7 plus 2 plus 10 plus 8 plus 4, I could have done that in my head, is 31 days. So this better add to 31 days. Then you add, so add here, add all over here as well. So this is the same, isn't it, as writing down on each of the first 7 days, 1,350, and then the next 2 days, 1,100, next 10 days. You could write them all out, but this is a little bit easier to use that times idea to get our balance. So I'm going to go 9,450 plus 2,200 plus 14,750 plus 12,260 plus 6,391.2. I get $45,051.20. And then what I'm going to do to get the average balance is I'm going to take those 2 numbers. This is my balance from every day. And then we have 31 days. So I'm going to divide that by 31. And my average daily balance is $1,453.26. Okay, look back at our balances. Right here's our balances. Does this look like the middle? Yeah, it does. If you get an answer of $1 million and you can see you owe around 1,500, that's not going to be correct. So this is how they calculate what to give your interest based off of. So I think that this one set up here that it is a monthly rate of 1.3. What's that yearly rate? Because we always do yearly. I'm going to times it by 12 and it's 15.6%. So we're going to see 1% and be like, whoa, that's so good. We're not looking at the annual rate. We have to times it by 12. So the annual rate is not that good, 15%. Okay, but for just this month, we're going to use our 1.3. So we're going to go down here and write our percent as 1.3, right? 0.013 is the same as 1.3%. And I'm going to times it by the 1453.26 because this is all 1 month. You use the rate for 1 month. You don't use the yearly, but 0.013 times that by 1453.26. All right, I get $18.89. That's going to be my interest. So when I start the next month, I take the end of the month. What was I at the end of the month, right? So $1,597.80, and I add the $18.89. Okay, so let's look at question D. Oh, I never actually added them. Sorry, my phone rang. So add these together, I get $1,616.69. This would be that new balance for June. So we started with $1,350. This would be the next balance for that next month. This credit card requires a $10 minimum monthly payment if the balance due at the end of the billing period is less than $360. Otherwise, the minimum monthly payment is 1/36 of the balance due at the end of the period. So they are saying if I take 1/36 and I times it by the balance at the end of the month, which includes my interest, this is how much money you have to pay. So I think this was like $45-ish. So 1616.69 times by 1 divided by 36 or divided by 36, I get $44.91. So my minimum payment is $44.91. So that's how they figure out how much you have to pay. Now be careful. Some credit cards used to allow like a $10 minimum. Think this through. Let's say this is my true balance right here, and I pay $10 minimum. Look at my interest every month. If I stop charging, just stop charging and keep paying my $10 every single month, if they didn't require the little bit higher of the 136, then I would not even be paying the interest, which means my account would be going up every single month. I've seen it happen in real life. People paying their minimum balances and their accounts are going up every month. They're not actually paying it down at all because there's not enough. So I think there was a law that was passed, if I remember right, that made it go, you have to be a little more money per month so that you're paying off at least the interest and then a little bit every month. It's not very much, but you're paying off the interest plus, 25 bucks if you stop charging too. Okay. So the rest of this part here kind of goes through this part, the yellow, is just going through what we just did, how to calculate that out. You could watch the video again if you need to. And then it talks about advantages, disadvantages. I don't really need to, I've talked about enough of them. You can read through that on your own. The debit cards are convenient, but debit cards aren't a credit card. Okay, debit cards, the money's coming out because you have the cash in a bank account somewhere. Okay, so it talks about debit, credit scores. I really think if you've never checked your credit score, you really should. I thought I put on here like legit agencies. Yes. So credit bureaus they collect credit information, and you can see the main three here: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Equifax is what I think I've always used for, like, when I go buy a car, they use that one and stuff. So there's only three major ones, that actual companies that find people's credit scores. And then this is the scores right here. Okay. And I do say, even if you're 18 years old, you should look at your credit score. I know my credit card company allows me to see my credit card score for free, or my credit score for free. It's like part of the features in it. But it's good to know where you're at, especially like maybe you had a payment that you didn't realize and you're young and you paid it late, and it's like the only payment on your whole entire credit score. So it's like it's going to show really bad credit when really it's one time, one thing. Okay. So this is your goal. And why is it important to keep your credit high? So let's say you bought a house, you bought a car, and you decided, I don't want to make these payments anymore, and you walk away from them. Just walk away. Foreclose on the house, repo the car. What that does is your score will go really low. And that means you can't buy another house or another car until you slowly build that credit back up, showing that you can make payments on time, that you can be given a little bit of credit, and then you pay it off. Given that credit, right? That's like a credit card. So then you just won't be able to buy something else, and it makes it hard. So what if you have an emergency and you need to charge $5,000 right now for a lawyer, and then next month I'll just pay it off. It's fine, but I need to do this right now. That's and you have no credit, then you're going to be in trouble, right? So there are benefits to credit. And I always say you should just save up and buy stuff. You really should, but you should also keep your credit good, both, just in case. All right. Have a good one.